Hello, greetings. It is going on 1 a.m. in the morning, and I could not sleep. I slept, but I only slept for an hour. Got things on my mind, and it's something that I remember from my past. Um, back in the day, when I was dating this dude who was dating me and my next door neighbor at the same time. I was in such of a shock when he came to my house and he showed me he was in such happy spirits. The leasing office people gave him an apartment. They gave him his own key to his apartment. And I was so upset. Part of me should have been glad that they gave him his apartment because that meant that he wouldn't be trying to ask if he can come to my house at night and spend the night on my couch. But I was mad because, this is the same dude that broke in my house and he broke in another neighbor house of mine. He be breaking in people's houses with other dudes and stealing shit. The way that he broke in my house. So he's showing me, oh, yeah, and here go the papers you see. I told you I was gonna get my own apartment. Before I knew it, and I didn't mean it the way it came out when I said it to him, but I meant it. I did mean it. Because I said, before I knew it, I said, what they doing giving you an apartment? And I made that same face. This nigga jumped up from my couch, balling up his fist. He's like, what you make that face for? What you trying to say? I'm like, it wasn't that long ago you were staying with your sister, but now you have your own apartment. What's going on? Why are you getting your own apartment? And mind you, he never did give me his apartment number. And I said, you must be getting your own apartment because you trying to be hooking up with this one and that one and this one and that one. He was like, I'm not trying to fuck anybody. I just needed my own place to stay. I'm like, okay, so what is your apartment number? Are you going to give your apartment number to me? He's like, yeah. He said, but later. And he never did give me his apartment number, but he did show me that he had house keys to his new apartment. And that shit bothered me so much. It weighed heavily on my mind. I was upset. I was upset for about 3 days. Finally, the third day, I went to the leasing office. And I talked to the landlord lady. And I'm like, I needed to ask you something. She's like, yes. I said, since when do y'all give an apartment to criminals? I said it just like that. And she was like, what you mean? I'm like, and I told her the dude's name who I felt like was a criminal. And I'm like, why would you give him an apartment? And he's been known to be breaking into people's houses. And she's like, well, everyone who is accused of something that lives over here, they are innocent until proven guilty. She's like, you may not like him and he may have broke into people's houses, but he did pay his money to get this apartment. And, until we see otherwise, if we see that he's doing criminal activity like that, then we will evict him. And I was like, okay, but I feel like y'all are making a mistake. And after I asked her that, I left out of there. And I just went into my house and just sat staring at the wall. My favorite TV show had came on. Well, no, my favorite movie. And that movie used to come on regular TV every day. This was before I ordered cable and the internet and everything. And that movie, Little Man by the Wayans brothers, had came on. Usually I stop everything that I do to watch that movie, but I was so upset. He had an apartment. He had got this apartment. Then he want to come and brag in my face. That's not the half of it. So this nigga, I'm going to say 2 weeks later, I had came from making groceries. And he saw me going in my apartment, so he asked to come in and get a bottle of water. And can he use the bathroom? So I let him. Tell me why this dude gonna say, can you give me some groceries to put in my apartment? I'm like, I can't do that. I'm like, once you get an apartment for yourself, those are things that you are responsible for doing, not me. He's like, you can't at least give me some bottles of water. I'm like, you have a bottle of water that I just gave you in your hand. He's like, so you telling me no completely? I'm like, I'm telling you no. And he's like, you just a hater like everybody else. And he's like, I'm not fucking with you anymore. Don't call my phone. Don't ring my line. Don't text me. Don't do nothing. I'm like, fine, I won't. I was just so upset because, like, these these leasing office people gave him an apartment. Then he came to me to brag about it. He had been told me that they were going to give him an apartment, but I just didn't believe it. But when it finally happened, I was so upset. I was so motherfucking upset because he didn't deserve an apartment. He's sitting up here doing criminal activity, breaking in people's houses, stealing people's shit, including me. And they give you somewhere to stay. I hate that person to this day. It's I have a bunch of story times about things that he has done to me besides the fact that he jumped on me and beat me up in my own apartment once. I'm going to end this story time, but to this day, I still can't get that out of my mind. But until then, until the next video that I post, y'all stay blessed.